Welcome to the Voice of Oneness, your call to awaken. This show is your call to awaken to the truth of your being through the teachings of the Voice of Oneness, spoken by Aumara. On this show, you will receive spiritual guidance and the teachings of oneness from the heart of spirit directly to your heart, along with the tools and techniques to apply these teachings to your day-to-day life. Tuning in each week, you will grow in a deeper, richer understanding of your true nature as teachings are offered about universal spiritual laws that govern our lives. You will learn the right use and application of these laws to achieve the richest life from the perspective of experiencing abundance in all areas of your life. Aumara is a renowned psychic, spiritual teacher, coach, energy healer, mystic, and gifted visionary who taps into the higher realms to join with the vast collective of source energy. Now, your host of Voice of Oneness, Aumara.
Good evening, friends. Welcome to the Voice of Oneness podcast. I'm Aumara. I'm your host, and I am so grateful that you are joining me this evening, that we can be together on this show. Welcome, Courtney. Nice to have you with us. I have a few things planned for tonight, but how I like to roll is I like to see what comes through based on the energy of those tuning in and what comes to me to talk about as far as topics go, as we can talk on any number of topics. As this is a continuous stream of consciousness from the higher realms of spirit, flowing through for the purpose of assisting all who are awakening. So all who are awakening at different levels of awareness of what that means. I mean, there's some of us that we awaken and the doors blow off and we have this total different life experience. And then there's others that begin to awaken more slowly, begin to explore different things and grow. And there are others who have been awakened for quite some time to whatever level of consciousness they're holding in their awareness. So we're all at different points on the spectrum here. So we appreciate all, and we're here for all. And as we speak to all. So before we begin, what I like to do is I like to join in resonance and be open and receptive. So I always begin by asking everyone right where you are, if you're listening into the recording or you're here live with me, just close your eyes for a moment and take a nice deep breath in. And breathing in, and hold that breath, and then release your breath. Take another nice deep breath in. Hold that breath. And release that breath. And one more nice deep breath in. Hold that breath. And release. And now I can feel we have a sense of resonance here. That's good. That's good. As I can feel inside of me, inside of my body, I can feel the energy. And that's part of being a very sensitive being, what is known these days by the term empathic, open to and feeling the energy that's around us, the energy of others, to, once again, different degrees. When someone's empathic, they may be slightly sensitive or they may be super sensitive. Both are empaths, both can feel and sense energy, but they feel it to different degrees. So what I'm going to do, I see Courtney's on here. I haven't any questions yet. I'm going to invite you as you're listening to please place all your questions in the comment section, and I'll get to them in the second half of the show. Your questions, your participation, vital, so we all grow and learn together. So when you're asking those questions, you may think it's just a question you're holding, but there are other listeners that are benefiting from that. And to begin with that premise, I want to start with part of a reading that I was doing for someone this week. And it's their personal reading, but it was something that was written from the Voice of Oneness, and that I feel strongly I'd like to share because it applies to everyone. So it says, and I'm going to leave the person's name out naturally. It says, this one, and that's the individual, is expanding, bursting forth in the depth and breadth of the expanded awareness of oneness. What is the feeling, the experience, the space prepared for the presence to reveal the inner chamber of the one heart, sitting in silence in awe of the grand experiencing of the ever expanding unfolding, the one? All is one. Being part of the awakening is an exhilarating ride for the limited view to perceive and struggles to capture the fullness of the experience. Truly know there is no thing beyond one's reach. The journey within the heart in each moment of awareness is leading life in the fullness, capturing the true essence of the grand expression of individuated consciousness. Ah, breathe the breath of the ages. Sup on the wisdom of the ancient experiences to create a brand new version of the self. All is permitted in the play of life. Take the expanded breath and know more is always waiting to be expressed. Live life fully. Release regrets. Clean the channels of the heart for the movement of higher frequencies. Rely not on the limited sight to see. Let yourself fly free. You are now and will always be consciousness, outpictured from and through the one mind, the one heart, the one love. So it is now and forevermore. We just take a moment to breathe that in. Because although that was part of someone's reading, it applies to us all. We are all one. We are all interconnected. We are all experiencing being part of the one and being an individuated aspect of the one. As we are living our lives, having our experiences, day to day, the events, the circumstances, the interrelationships we have, the families we're in, all that's life experiences. And we're experiencing our life based on what it is that we are moving through energetically, what's coming up for us. Sometimes it's termed lessons, the lessons. What are the lessons? What am I here to experience? And for many, many, many people, a common theme this week, of course, not just this week, but most often, is connectedness. How do I connect? How do I connect deeper to spirit? Whether it be your spirit guides that you want to connect with, whether it be a deeper connection with God, the Godhead. We'll call it God. I call it God. You don't have to call it God. You can call it infinite intelligence. You could call it nature. You could call it love. You could call it law, whatever feels right for you. That's what you go with. Okay, but I use the term God. So know that if I use the term God, you use infinite intelligence, you use universe, you use source energy. Please, you use creator, Courtney, good. Creator, prime creator, good. Creator. Then just automatically just switch it to creator within your mind. Okay, I use all those terms, but most I use and there's reasons why I choose to use the term God. Okay, so that we open up to allow ourselves to experience what that energy feels like in our own personal reflection, not based on what we were taught in a religion. Okay, I use God a lot too, Good. But there are some people that they 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 don't. They don't, and it's not because they went deeper into the understanding of what that essence is all about, but it's because they had an experience that affected them in what they reflect on as negative. Therefore, they're like, no, I can't go there. I can't go there." And when we do that, I can't go there, it's negative, then we're creating resistance. So when we resist, we are not able to grow fully and experience fully the energy of that which we are. So it's a hindrance to us, and it's not beneficial. That's one of the reasons I choose to use that term, so people can open up and realize that it doesn't matter what the name is. What matters is that you allow yourself to experience. You allow yourself to feel. This is the time of feeling. This is the time of growth where humanity is growing in ways of which we have not experienced thus far on this planet. So we are opening, we are growing. And in order to do that, we must open our hearts. We must open. We must say, okay, I don't have to understand somebody's behavior. I don't have to agree with them. I don't have to play with them in their sandbox. They could play over there. But for me, what is important is that I don't close my heart. I say they're at one place, I'm at another. I realize we're part of the same whole. And one day we'll be back together in oneness. But right now we're living our lives as individuated consciousness. So I don't have to make anybody like me, nor do I have to become like anyone else. We're here to experience our own consciousness. And as long as we keep our heart open and allow one another to live, breathe, and grow, then we are able to come into a unified field instead of that which is all these different facets that have isolated themselves. So it's very important. And that's part of that, the teaching of oneness. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But I want to take a moment to welcome, okay, we have Teresa here. Teresa would love a reading. Okay. Welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. Very nice of you to be here. All right. So, as I was talking on the oneness, why teach oneness? And this was written back in 2012, but I pulled it off my website because I thought it was so important tonight. I had a sense that it would be a good topic. So, somebody had asked the question of the day. There are so many areas to focus on. Why do you choose to teach oneness? Now, when we think of oneness, and if I ask the question, to those of you who are listening, what does oneness mean to you? And usually when I put it out there, tell me what oneness means. Most of us jump to, it means that all things are connected. We are interconnected. We are all one. And then we say, okay, now that's what the concept means. Am I living that? Am I experiencing that? Am I approaching life and expressing the energy that I'm here to express in that field of oneness? Am I open and receptive truly from the heart to life, to those around me, to my experiences? There's where the difference lies. Some of us say we understand what it means and we think we are understanding oneness. Oh, I get what oneness is, but we haven't yet even began to scratch the surface of what oneness is. The only way that we are to experience what oneness is, and I use the word experience, is to live it. We live it, we have the experience, then as we experience, we embody. Once we embody it, now it's ours. Now we are the expression of oneness. So that's what the spiritual growth, the journey, that's what the spiritual unfoldment, the development is about. It's about the journey. It's about experiencing. I have a rainbow child. Courtney says, I have a rainbow child. He has autism and opened my eyes. Oh, yes. How beautiful. How beautiful. Open the eye. And that is the beauty when we really connect, on the deepest level. We connect to the individual and what they are here to give and to receive. And we have a rainbow child, someone of beautiful, pure love, pure love, unencumbered by all that we are maybe bound by, very free and very here to spark the opening, to open the hearts, especially those that are closed off, or those that are very stuck in different belief systems. They help to break that down. So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. I spent many years in the classroom as a special educator. And I retired from teaching in the classroom so that I can go to a much larger classroom. He's doing a wonderful job. Absolutely. 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 And you too. You too. You both have this wonderful symbiotic experience going on there. You're both opening to one another, and you're both working together, and that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. And this is something, you brought this forth in this life. You've been together before. You brought this forth in this life in this way because it's so necessary here and now. Because whether we realize it or not, we think that we're opening and we're becoming more available when we're actually, many of us are closing off more. We're becoming, we're setting these boundaries, and we're demanding that we be seen in a certain way, and that we're starting to subdivide into different segments. This group over here, this group over here, this group over here, and you need to hear us and see us how we want to be heard and seen, and you must give us this and that. That's not oneness. That's not oneness. That's pulling away from the source, pulling away from the source. So we have, like, Courtney and her son, beautiful, helps us bring us back, make us aware, really be present so that we can feel love. You cannot be around a child who is coming into this world, who is on the autism spectrum, and not feel love. You cannot, because they embody it so purely, so deeply. So that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Everyone wants to be like them. Yes. Yes, we do. When you ask yourself, what do you really want? If I ask, what do you really want? We start to think right away of maybe some people might go to material things, or I want to be a certain experience in my life. But what everybody really wants is connection. I wanted to connect to the source, that pure sense of love, that knowing that I'm okay, that knowing that I'm supported, that knowing that no matter what I do, or how I look, or what I am able to manifest in the world, I am loved just the same. And we live in a world of conditions for a reason. And the world of conditions gives us the message that we need to measure up, or we are not worthy. And we're here to learn we are worthy. We don't have to meet anyone's conditions. We have to touch that heart space inside ourselves. We have to go inside ourselves. We have to open the heart. We have to unlock the chains that we've placed on our hearts and open up fully. And when we do that, now we start experience from that field of love, and our world changes. Our world changes. We need unconditional. Yes, yes, yes. We do. We do. We must be unconditional with ourselves so that we can experience unconditional. We have within ourselves conditions that we are like an onion. That is, we're peeling layers of the onion off so that we can reveal the true inner beauty, the true nature of that which we are, which is unconditional love. We are working on that. It's a constant evolution. It's a constant evolution, always calling forth the next highest iteration of ourselves as we're working on it consciously. Some of us are consciously working on it. Some of us may not be consciously working on it. But when we're around those who are consciously working at it, and we're really staying within our truth and seeking to live from that place of love, we are then the walking model of it, and we're holding a spaciousness for others that they may choose to enter into. So we need that modeling going on because there's so much of fear in our experience right now. So we need to make certain that we are within ourselves. We're tuning in, tapping into that love so that we can be the expression of that, so that others may rise up and choose love for themselves. Because we each must choose. We must choose. We must choose. No one can choose for us. We must choose individually. So back to the why choose to teach oneness. So the team of which is speaking, the team which is what I connect with, the response was, this is a very good question. We will respond in resonance to the energy present at this time. We are here to speak of oneness. Our love is here for all. We are to assist in the transformation of consciousness to unity awareness. We are concerned not with the misinformation or mishaps of mankind at this juncture. We are only interested in the teachings of oneness, all love, only love. We are present for all who wish to receive these teachings. We do not discriminate in any way, no matter what has been. We offer only the path of love. We are not here to judge, condemn, or deny. We are the steady flow of love consciousness. There are so many who are desperately seeking to elevate their position in the collective consciousness experiment. That's life here on planet Earth. They are choosing many various forms of expression. Each is their choice. To this, we answer, we provide a path of love, not a quick fix, but a guaranteed way to achieve what is in the heart. If one would but apply these lessons with deliberate intent to experience the fullness of their being in each and every moment, oh, what a world this would be. So many are so busy taking up causes to rally against themselves. While they believe they are helping to elevate themselves and their brothers, they are in fact causing further decline of consciousness. They limit their expansion and hold themselves and others in this cycle of fear. This is so very difficult for many to understand. It does not seem logical to turn from the cause to the self as the prime cause. The love of self must be taught, must be learned, must be expressed. Love of self, life of oneness is a must. Therefore, we have chosen to teach oneness. There exists an endless array of subjects we could teach to the enjoyment of many for the expansion of consciousness, but it would never reveal all this that is to be. Only through oneness are all to be freed from the enslavement of the mind to fear. Only love will set all free. Only love. No other force can do this. Yes, you can turn a lot of heads with magic tricks, but you can never fool their hearts. They will not open unless the field is one of love. What is true alchemy? Who is the true alchemist? To turn lead into gold's cheap magic trick. To feel the heart is the truth, the true alchemy. You see, it is easy to learn rituals and perform feats to impress the mind. But the ones who are filled with love, they are the true alchemists. They present the magic of love, wherein all things are possible. The voice of oneness is a message of love to all, a way to open for some, and for others a way to return. But for all, love is ever present. Love, the voice of oneness. So this is the teachings to awaken to the truth of the nature of your being, to come to a deeper understanding of oneness. What is it in truth? What does it mean today? Will it mean the same thing tomorrow? Or is it possible that tomorrow I could be of a deeper understanding and it can take on a whole new meaning? When we are open to expansion, then our heart is open and we hold not to any one particular meaning. but we say, I'm open to experience, to live life to the fullest in this day. How may I be of service? Service not just to other people, but service to myself as far as holding myself accountable and responsible for my own energy. What is it I am choosing? Am I choosing to behave in a way of which is aligned with the love of which I am? Am I holding anyone outside of my heart? Meaning, am I judging anyone? Am I looking at anyone and distancing myself from them, believing that I am better than them? Or am I looking at them and realizing that they hold a different belief and I may not be as the same belief, but I still choose to see them and I choose to allow myself to be present around them? That's a big difference in how we approach that. It's a big difference in, are we looking to our feel within our hearts? Are we moving through our life and our day to day and saying, okay, am I working within my heart? Am I feeling into the situations? Or am I living by rules and just going by what I believe I need to be, how I need to show up in this world? Am I living in fear? Or am I choosing to play where I'm full out and I'm standing in my own power, standing in my own beliefs, allowing myself to express what it is that I'm feeling, even though it may be contrary to the popular belief of the group of which I'm within? Many times we strive to fit in to situations of which we do not belong fitting into. But our mind is such that we want to be part of the group. We want to be accepted. We want to feel that sense of oneness. But it's to say, okay, is this the right space for me? And it may or may not be. And if it's not, do we have the courage to stand up and move along to define the space that is correct for us? That's the important thing. So as we begin on the oneness, we say, okay, I understand it's the interconnectedness. And now, am I practicing within my day-to-day life experience where I am connecting to the source that created me? Whether we call it God, whether we call it creator, whether we call it love, whatever we call it, am I connecting to the source? Am I personally myself? And this doesn't mean that I'm holding this conversation and I can hear the dialogue taking place in my head. It may be, but more than likely it's not. Am I connecting to that source means I'm aligning with my intention. It's my intent to connect to that source. It's my intention to allow that source to guide me. And I do so by stepping into the trust that as I am feeling into a situation, as I'm feeling into my day, and I'm moving along with that feeling inside of me, that I know that I am guided. I'm not trying to control the situation. I'm moving freely with it, like allowing oneself to be in a tube on a river and have the river just take you downstream. You're going down, you're in the tube, you're enjoying the ride. You're not trying to take your tube and pedal the opposite direction. And that's what many of us do in life. We try to pedal in the opposite direction. We try to do what we think that we're supposed to do, or what's the right thing to do. And we wind up leaving ourselves on the sideline. We check ourselves out to become something that we think we need to be. And it's important in this time and where we find ourselves in our growth is that we open up and say, wait a minute here. What am I doing? Am I standing in my own power? Am I seeking growth within myself? Now, some people will say, well, I want to become more spiritual. And to that we say, you are spiritual already. What you're doing is you are removing those layers of the onion. You're uncovering the true spiritual nature of your being. You can't add to yourself. But what you can do is you can remove the misbeliefs that you have about yourself. So you say, okay, let me look at what I believe myself to be. And is what I'm believing of myself, is it serving me? Am I here on this earth plane at this time? Am I living fully? Meaning, am I allowing myself to love and be loved? Or am I holding myself away in some way? So, hello, Dove Spirits. Talia, it's hard sometimes to see our uniqueness as separate from what is expected and to trust that it will take me where I want to be. How do I recognize me? We begin, when we say even me, we say, okay, in this moment, who do I believe that me to be? What does that me mean to me? We throw these words around because we're so used to, good evening, Sherry. We're so used to using words to define things. We use words, and the words, they fall short all of the time because we're spirit and you can't contain us in a definition, because we're always evolving wherever forward moving life. So when we try to contain ourselves by a definition, by a word, we say, okay, this is me. Say, is this me, or is this how in this moment I'm experiencing the energy of which I am? Is this where my awareness is in the moment? So that's more apt to define. That's more apt to really give us a sense of what's going on, rather than define it as I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. Say I am, I am, and I'm experiencing what that is in each and every moment. So it's going to change. It's not going to stay stagnant. It's not going to stay static. It's going to be ever unfolding. So how do I recognize me if I'm using that me as to define the pure sense of that which I am? That's when I'm feeling in the flow, when I'm feeling that sense of alignment, when I'm feeling a sense of I'm tuned in, I'm tapped in, I'm turned on. I feel a connectedness. I may feel a warmth inside of me. I may feel just a feeling that, yeah, this feels right. I just know this to be. I can't define how I know, but I just know this is right. Now I'm tuning into that sense, that me. Am I with an open heart? Am I allowing myself to experience? Or am I keeping myself closed off? If I'm keeping myself closed off, then I am experiencing the limited version of myself. I'm allowing myself just to experience certain things, but I'm not going full out. I'm not really, taking the bars off and letting myself be. So I'm experiencing the part of me of which I can hold within my container at the time, based on what my belief is about who me is, based on my belief about how safe the world is or unsafe the world is, based on my worldview, based on what I am tuning into and what I am interpreting that information to mean to me. Am I allowing my mind, which may or may not be hijacked by the race, we'll call it race consciousness, the collective consciousness of which we are swimming within, that which is happening on the earth at this time? Am I caught up in the waves of fear and uncertainty? Or am I saying, no, I'm taking myself out of that and I'm allowing myself to sit back and I'm allowing myself to feel my energy and I'm allowing myself to commune with the creator of all things, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, everywhere, all the time, all knowing, all powerful. That force is inside of all of creation. We are part of creation, which means it is within us at all times, never leaves us, never leaves us. There isn't anything we can do or experience or any place we can be in life where we are not with the presence. When we are not experiencing that, it's because of the layers of the onion. We have overlays. And it came to me this way as I was thinking about it, when I was thinking about tonight's talk too. I just got a vision of when I was sitting in the optometrist chair. And many of you probably have had eye exams, and you're looking through these lenses and you're looking at a chart on the wall that's a certain distance away. That chart is simply the chart. It doesn't change. It is the chart. It's pre-printed. It doesn't change. What does change is when the lenses are shifted that you're looking through. you could be looking through and you could see it a little blurry, and you can't read all the lines of the chart. And then the doctor will say, okay, click, click, click. Okay, tell me what you see now. And all of a sudden, another line opened up. And you go, oh, I can read another line. It says, this is A, and this is L, and this is Q. And you go, oh, very good, very good. Okay, click. Now tell me what you see. Oh my gosh, another line just opened up. I got further down the chart. And then finally, you're able to see the chart, the full chart. And you're able to see it clearly based on the switching of the lenses. So if we can think that and liken that to, as we remove the layers of the onion, we're still the same. We haven't changed. The inner core of our being hasn't changed at all. What's changing is our view of the inner core, our understanding of it, our experiencing of it, our life expression of that energy. That's what changes. So that's when we are in the process of growth and soul development. I hope this makes sense. And we are about to take a station break. So I'm gonna say, stay with me. We're gonna take more questions when we're back. And I look forward to taking more questions in a few minutes. So hang in there and watch our sponsors. Thank you.
Want to see your video here? Sponsor WLTK-DB Talk Radio and watch us make that happen. With your paid sponsorship of $80, you receive a professional produced audio, video, and banner placement on our station. Not only does your sponsorship air during our live shows, but also replayed on our podcast and heard by hundreds of like-minded people. Visit WLTK-DB.com to get started and find out just how hard we work to get you noticed.
Hey, welcome back. All right. So, Dove Spirit Life Studio with Talia. Thank you. I am working on recognizing the higher version of me beyond the fear and blur. Well, congratulations. That's a major feat to do that. And we've got to think, okay, inside us, we are spirit in a physical form. We're having a physical experience. And here in this physical world right now, it's a little bumpy. It's a bumpy ride. It's a little rocky. So when we're wanting to, and we're calling to experience ourselves, a higher version of ourselves, we're saying, oh, I'm going to come out and play. And I'm going to come out and play into a space. And I've got to be able to feel safe enough to do that. Safe enough to come out and play. Safe enough to say what I feel. Safe enough to experience life in the way of which I'm choosing. And that takes a lot of courage to do that as we're growing and learning, because it's easier to stay and say, okay, let me just follow along and let me just do what it is that I believe I'm supposed to be doing, than I actually allow myself to come out and experience. So it's I'm experiencing the higher version of me. You are always in communication with your soul. You are always in communication with the higher version. But that higher version, if we imagine, okay, we've got a hose. I'm going to use another metaphor here. We've got a hose or analogy, and I'm going to liken it to the hose. And we turn the faucet on, and it's coming out beautifully. It's flowing out, and it's beautiful out the end of the hose. It's a clear stream of water. And then the hose gets a crimp in it, and all of a sudden, it starts to trickle out. It's no longer that flow. Although the faucet is open, it's there, it's always there. There's a crimp in the hose. So when we find the crimp and we remove it, now the flow returns. So that's what we experience when we're having an experience and we're feeling fully connected. We're feeling that connection. We're feeling at peace. We're feeling, oh, a sense of bliss. Or we're feeling that I'm in my joy. I'm inspired. I'm creative. I'm allowing that creative energy to flow. I'm really feeling good about myself. I'm feeling good about, what I'm doing in the world, how I'm expressing my energy. That's when we're connected. And then something happens and we get crimped. And now we go into, okay, self-doubt, and then I'm not sure, am I doing the right thing? And it's that crimp of self-doubt. And if we could just realize that we've jumped into examining and possibly overthinking that which we're doing, we've crimped our own hose. So we've crimped it, so we cut off that constant stream, that flow. It's always there, it's turned on, but we've got to find out the resistance. What's resisting it? What's the crimp in my line here? And we say, okay, I'm overthinking, possibly overanalyzing, and not allowing myself to feel into what's happening, not allowing myself to experience my own unique beauty. So that's an important thing to examine there. When we say, okay, I'm working on recognizing the higher version of me beyond the fear. The fear is based on conditioning. It's a conditioning, means I've accepted and I've taken on, I've bought into uh, energy and thoughts about myself which are not in truth. When I say in truth, it's not aligned with the true nature of your being, which is love. So I'm thinking that if I am not enough, let's say, I'm feeling not enough in a certain situation, I'm doubting my ability to do something, and therefore I'm not allowing myself to experience, to even try to experience life by trying, then I'm letting fear stop me. I'm letting a false belief about my truth stop me. And if I become aware that that's what I'm doing, and I make a choice within myself to say, I'm going to go for it no matter what, now I override that fear and I actually get to step into the experience of it. So it's to be aware of what am I thinking? What are my thoughts? We think thoughts, we all these thoughts we think all day, every day, we think they're just thoughts. Thoughts are creative energy. Our thoughts create. If we hold on to the thought and we allow it to take hold and we begin to experience the thought, then we create, we make manifest from that thought. Everything begins, everything in all of creation, including that which we are, was created first in thought and then made manifest. So it's created two times, first in thought, then in manifest form. So we begin with the ideal, and from the ideal, we step into the real. So we hold it first in the thought, then made manifest. So as I'm working and recognizing my higher version of myself beyond the fear, I must see myself free of fear. I must hold a vision in my mind of the me that is not restricted by the fear. And as I hold on that and I begin to experience that in my mind, now I say it is, and therefore it is. And now I step into it. And I begin to operate and do the actions in my world based on that version, that higher version of me that's beyond the fear. Stop taking on someone else's version of you. Beautifully said, Courtney. Yes, yes, yes. Stop taking on someone's version of us. We may not know whose version it is. We may be believing that that is who we are. It may be from, childhood. It was imprinted. Maybe from something somebody said in school. It could be from all different places, but we're still believing that that's what we are, and it's not in accordance to our truth. How do we know it's not according to the truth? It's because it does not feel good. It does not feel good. It is not love. It doesn't hold that feeling of connectedness. It holds the feeling of, I want to get back to the connectedness. And it's our own selves telling us exactly what's needed. This is the action that's needed. You need to let go of this. You need to work this out, work this through, whatever is your individual process. Some people like to speak it out, talk it out. Some people like to work it out. Some people like to write it out. Whatever it is, however we need to move that, we need to say, okay, whatever it is, I'm open to this experience, and allow it space to come up and out. And it will always come up and out. And I'll have, when I'm talking with someone and I'm working in a spiritual teaching or guidance, and they'll say, well, I don't know what the problem is. I say, yes, you do. Let's just talk. And as we're talking, all of a sudden words flow from the individual, and then they stop for a moment, and we come into the recognition of, oh my gosh, I just said that. I just said that. That's what I'm believing. I'm believing that about myself. I didn't think I was believing that about myself. Of course you didn't, because if you did, you would have stopped it. But now you know, and now you have the opportunity to take action. How do you want to proceed? What do you want to do? Do you want to, first step in at the action of forgiveness is to come to the awareness that there's something going on. Once we become aware, now we can choose, do I want to move forward with this, or do I want to let this go? We must choose. It's ours to choose because it's us who took it on. It's nothing in this world, in this life experience, is done to us. Nothing is done to us. We believe that it is when we are at the awareness within our consciousness of a victimhood. But once we come a little further along and we're studying and we're open to grow and we begin removing the layers, we realize that, oh, it's not done to me. Now I'm growing. I'm learning that thoughts are things and thoughts create. And as I hold a thought, I'm in my power of creation. I use my imagination and I can make manifest. So therefore, things are happening by me. So it's victimhood. Next stage is by me. And then as I grow through that stage, I come into the understanding that, oh, the presence is within me. It's happening through me. Oh, wow, I've gone from victim to by to through. Now I start experience from a whole different lens. We got the lenses again. If we go back to the lens, things are getting a little clearer here. I'm starting to see some more lines. And then we go, okay, victim, by, through, and then the final stage, it's as. As is once we embody that. And now it is flowing through us as us. We are that. We are joined with the Creator. We are joined in that flow. We understand that we hold the power, that everything begins and ends with us. There's no one doing things to us but us. We're the one. It begins and ends with us. And when we realize, oh my gosh, it's because this is how I'm defining myself. How I define myself is how I experience myself. I can't experience myself any other way than what I'm defining. My definition of what I believe myself to be will always be what I experience myself to be, because I am the experiencer. I hope that makes sense. So if I really want to experience differently, I've got to define myself differently. I've got to really look at what's here and say, okay, am I living my life as a person who is successful? If success is what I say I want to experience. And if I'm believing that I'm not if I'm believing I'm not successful, if I'm believing that I can't do or have what I like, now I have a dialogue going on inside of me that is not a match to what I'm saying I want to experience. So then I can go in and I can ask myself, okay, well, what is it that is within me that wants to be birthed? What wants to be birthed in my experience? I'm saying I want success, but what is seeking to be birthed here? And then as we come into awareness of what's seeking to be birthed, say, okay, what do I need to add to my experience to prepare me for the experiencing of this, living as this? Perhaps it's gaining some more skills. Perhaps it's doing some work on the self, whatever it may be. But we must take action based on what our asking is, because remember, it is happening through us, as us, not to us. And first it starts by us, then through us, then as us. I hope that makes sense. That it's very important that we open up at this time. I'd say probably like the most important thing is that we cultivate that sense of feeling inside of us. We must go to the heart. We must feel. Our feeling is our true guidance. And when we learn to feel, we then can enter into the space where we're comfortable asking questions. We can begin to question ourselves because we're coming more in tune with ourselves. As we become more in tune with ourselves, we are that presence inside of us. It's there, always in us. We're becoming more in tune with the presence. And we're living then more of a fuller life experience. We are moving along further on the continuous, if we look at it as if it is a continuous growth, a continuous wave that we're riding, so that we come more into a deeper understanding of oneness, then that's what we're doing when we're going inside. We're feeling and we're moving through life based on how we are feeling and experiencing. So we allow ourselves to go deeper. We allow the heart to open. We can experience our own essence more deeply, more profoundly, and then that's the experience we have in the world. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's to say, okay, well, what is it that I'm choosing? And I want to experience the sense of it is always love. It's always love. It's always love. And say, okay, but I've got fear inside of me. There's times when I'm very anxious, and I hear this a lot. I'm very anxious, and we all, at different times in our life, experience anxiety. I don't think there's anyone that's free from that experience. I think we all experience it, depending on what's going on and what we're holding inside of us. We all experience anxiety. But when we experience anxiety, it's to say that that's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with us. It doesn't mean that we're less than someone else. That's our way of feeling and sensing and saying, woo, pay attention here. There's something going on that you're not tuning into. There's something going on that we're not tuning into. Okay, Facebook user, if possible, I would like to have a reading. Okay, this as we're doing right now, the energy, I'm in the teaching mode, not the reading mode. If you'd like to hang on to the end, I can see if I'll read the energy, but right now, I welcome you to join us in the teaching mode. Thank you. Thank you. But if you're looking for a psychic reading, that's not what my podcast is all about. Okay, even though I am a psychic, here we're doing more of the teaching. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So as I do that, I come out of the flow. So I have to get back in, back in for a moment. All right. All right. Okay. What's most important too at this time is the sense of community, a sense of connectedness. A sense of that we're not in isolation, that we're not alone doing what we're doing, and that it's okay to open up and say, hey, I'm in the process of growing. I'm in the process of expanding, and to share with one another and to have a place to do it that's a safe, non-judgmental place where we can bounce things off of one another and experience. And one of the things that I'm in the process of doing, and I hold the vision for, is on my website. I have a website, not the Ask Aumara site, but I have a new one that I'm in the process of building. And as I'm building that site, what I envision is having a community on there. And it's not that I want anything from anybody in the community. I'm not looking for your email address. I'm not looking to sell you anything. What I want is you to come together, and I want to grow so that you can experience and help one another, so that we can assist one another at this time when the world is upside down, inside out, and absolutely crazy, that we can say, okay, there's energy here. I can tune in here at any time of the day, and I can be uplifted. I can see that there's positive growth. I can see that there are good things happening in this world. I can see that there are those that are choosing to develop sustainable communities of farming, and that people are joining together to help one another. And it's not everybody doing, opposed to one another, and it's not all things that are of a lower vibration, but there are those are of a higher vibration, that are willing to join in community. And I hope to have that up soon. I'm really working on it. I'm not that tech savvy, though. It's taking me a little longer. But every free time moment I have, I do put towards that. And I hope when I do, that many of you listening will give that a look into that and see if that resonates with you, so that you not only have to tune into a podcast to experience, but you get to experience the community of like-minded individuals. When I say like-minded, I say of those that are open to love, to the field of love, those that are not seeking to sell anything, those that are not seeking to get anything from anybody, but other than share an experience. I hope that that's something that you'll look into. Doing better than me. What do you mean by that, Courtney? I'm not understanding that one. Doing better because setting up a community, or what is that in reference to? Explain. All right. I'm also going to look to read a question here. Your tech skills. Oh no, they're not that good. Believe me. But thank you for that. But I'm trying. I sit, and I work with people all the time. I do readings. I do healing. I do spiritual counseling, coaching, but I'm doing it for those that are contacting me, and always the push is to go broader, go broader, go broader, and it's been that way since 2009. And I'm like, okay, but I never really was able to make it happen. And here we are, fast forward in 2023, and we have beautiful platforms like this WLTK-DB radio station that will host our podcasts, that will create a space for us, a safe space for us, that we can share what it is we have to offer, because it's a lot of weight to be carrying around the information, the energy to teach and to help and facilitate different movements when we don't have a platform to do it on. So that's a beautiful thing. So I wanted to read a little quote here I have from Kabir, who's an Indian mystic poet. It's one of my favorites. And it says, "All know that the drop merges into the ocean, but few know that the ocean merges into the drop." And if we just breathe that in for a moment, and we just feel that, that's wisdom imparted to us through the teaching of Kabir. And if we think of the ocean, and it's always taught that the ocean can, if we pick a drop of water out of the ocean, it contains everything that's in the of the ocean. It's the same, made up of the same chemicals, made up of the same substance that the ocean is. So the ocean is in the drop, and the drop then merges back into the ocean. So as we come forth in life, we are the drop coming forth from the ocean. And as we grow and we evolve, we merge back into the ocean. We've never left the ocean. The ocean has always been in us. It's that which we are. And it's as we grow and learn, we learn that we are that drop. We are that ocean. The ocean's in us. We're in the ocean. We are the ocean. So I thought that's a beautiful thing to consider when we're having a hard time in our day-to-day life, in our day-to-day world. When we're walking with one foot in this world and one foot in the spirit world, we're trying to do that and achieve balance. We're trying to be a beautiful, loving person. That is life. Yes, it is. That is life in the moment that we experience it, in the consciousness that we hold in the moment, the awareness that we hold. And we must be willing to release that to the next breath, the next moment, so that we continue to expand, so that life that we're experiencing continues to evolve, and it's ever affirming itself. Life affirming, life affirming, life affirming, life affirming. I remember sitting in my home in California, and I had just held a meditation class in my home and had a beautiful teaching, a nice meditation class, and then everybody left. And I sat back to meditate myself. And I closed my eyes for a moment. And immediately when I closed my eyes, I got the message, "You are not living." And I sat there and I was, whoa, What do you mean I'm not living? I'm in service. I'm teaching. I'm holding meditation classes. Everyone that was here had a great uplifting experience. It was a good thing. It wasn't, how am I not living? I'm not living. And I'm realizing as I'm doing that, everything I was doing, I was not taking it within myself and going, okay, where are you, Aumara? Where are you within your consciousness? As you are leading this group through meditation, are you allowing yourself to experience the energy that's here? Or are you focused on just allowing this meditation to take place, being here and present for everyone else? Are you paying attention to your own connection? And I had to sit with that. And I had to sit with that for a while. And as I did, it started to come at me a new meaning from all different ways, all different perspectives. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm not living. I'm not living. Teaching, not being. Teaching, not being. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. And I've been doing this a very, very long time. And so that's just to put out there to others to say, remember, no matter where you may be in your process, no matter what you may believe that you understand, be willing to let it all go. Hold on to no thing. Because if you hold on, you're holding yourself back. Because you're holding on to something, there's no room for you to grow. So be open to allow yourself to experience. Be open for the newness to come in, to enter. The next best iteration of the self. In each and every breath, we breathe the self anew. There's a new you right here. You only have this moment, this experience, how you're experiencing the energy that's present right here, right now. Doesn't matter what's gone on in the past. Doesn't matter any of that. Doesn't matter your credentialing. It doesn't matter. It's how you're experiencing yourself, your energy in this moment, because that dictates that what you're going to put out into the world and what you're going to receive back. Dawn said, we have Talia here says, just picked a card that told me to let go. Yeah. And that's how it came through. So that same energy came through with exactly what I was saying. Be willing to let go. Be willing to let go. Be willing to let go. We must come to everything we come to with a sense of newness, a sense of aliveness, a sense of I am here for the constant unfolding. I am here as the spirit is within me. I am that spirit. That spirit is having this experience with me. And how I experience that is the growing. That's the life experience. So when we get to that place and we realize that we are journeying not alone, that we are together always with the Creator. We are always connected with Spirit. We are always connected to Source. Let us look for the fullness of that. And I hope that makes sense. And I love that you picked the card. What deck did you pick that from, Talia? Teaching, not being. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Courtney. And I see that we've gotten to an hour and 2 minutes. So the hour's up. It flies by fast. I will do the Mighty Manifester next week. So I'll talk more about manifesting and more about what we're experiencing in the life on earth at that time. It's in the other room. Okay. No, no, I wondered if you just had it sitting on the desk. That's why I was asking. Because many times people will pick a card or they'll ask me to pick a card. So say, okay, what particular deck do you like? Because some of us have many, many, many decks. Okay, love, love. All right. Well, thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Talia. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Facebook user. I don't know if you're still on here, Facebook user, or if you left. When I say Facebook user, that's the name that's coming up here, because I know we are on Facebook Live. And when you call and you ask for that reading, as I always say, as healers and as readers, we have this open, loving heart, and we always want to give. We always want to give. We always want to share. We always want to help. We always want, to bring lights. We always want to bring lights. But there's a time and a place. And we want to make sure that we hold with that sacredness. And when we really want to do a reading, we really want to be at a space where that's what we're doing. That's where we're focused, so that we're going to have clarity and not be trying to do different things at the same time. So it's not that I didn't want to do your reading. It's that time and a place. If you'd like a reading, you can always reach out to me through my website. I'd be happy to work with you. All right. Thank you, everyone. On that note, I'm going to say good night as you go forth in your life. May you go forth in the field of love. May you embrace the beauty and light of which you are. Remember in every breath that you are the light in the world. You are love, and you are here to experience love, to be loved and to love. Know that you are love, and bring love forth from your heart out into the world. If you are feeling fear, then stop for a moment, breathe in and say, okay, let me imagine that love is flowing to that which I am feeling. Whatever it may be, whatever the source of this fear may be, I'm sending love, and be that love. As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. And so be it, and so it is. Good night, beautiful souls. Till next week, have a good one. Bye-bye.
The truth is here and now on WLTK-DB Talk Radio at WLTK-DB.com.